Hey guys, and welcome to the Mr. Well channel. Thank you so much for clicking and checking me out. Be sure to subscribe, like the video later on if you do, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of Fantastic Beasts 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore.
What you're doing is madness. Dumbledore, with or without you, I'll burn down their world. There's nothing you can do to stop me. Do you really intend to turn your back on your own kind?
Hey guys, and welcome to the Mr. Well channel. My name is Thomas. Thank you so much for clicking and joining in. As you can see from the thumbnail, the title, this is me going to see Fantastic Beasts 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore. It's been a long time since Crimes of Grindelwald came out. Not particularly, a top tier, movie looking back on it. Crimes of Grindelwald just kind of rolled the dice on narrative plots and character development, yada yada yada. Everyone already knows. You already know what the criticism is, but I'm not going to get into it. I haven't really been spoiled too much with regards to what's going on. I know because of Warner Brothers and controversy and Harry Potter, let me tell you. I know because of the article that came out a couple of days ago about the Chinese release. So I know, obviously this is going to take place and, kind of affirm Dumbledore's sexuality, which is great. It's basically the only thing I've been spoiled on, which I don't even know if you can really call that a spoiler, because it's kind of, the writing's on the wall regarding that detail. So that's really the only thing I know going into the movie. So I just hope that the plot is a little bit more cohesive and understandable than the last movie. I just want to have a good time. Obviously, we're going to be going to Hogwarts, so it's exciting to know that I'm about to go to a movie and be reintroduced to that world. Again, I'm just going to try to just lower my expectations and just really try to have a good time with this. I want to ultimately enjoy this film. I'm never going to go into a movie and just be like, man, I really hope this movie sucks. Even though, regardless of the criticisms of Warner Brothers or J.K. Rowling or the Fantastic Beasts franchise as a whole, this is the Wizarding World movies where we're at now. I wouldn't want a movie to fail at the box office or fail critically with critics and audience, so I just want to go in and have a good time. I will let you guys know how I think about it after I come out of the movie.
It's all right, Ginny. It's over. It's just a memory.
Alright, so I just got back from seeing Fantastic Beasts 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Starting off, just right off the top, I laughed out loud so hard when they just blatantly said, Tina's not available. It was just the lazy, I literally felt Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool.
That's just lazy writing.
It was ridiculous how they just, whatever's going on, I'm sure behind the scenes, that's what J.K. Rowling decided to do, and it kind of shows. I can't believe that that's how that went.
Where do we see your character? Where are you?
Well, I think it's sort of a surprise that I don't want to spoil. Look, with this franchise, I just think I have a general rule to say nothing, and then I don't get in trouble.
They had a couple of great new additions, mainly Lolly. I forget, Lolly. Lolly Hicks, Professor Hicks, who was a teacher at Evermorny. I think we saw her briefly in the last movie as a portrait. But regardless, so they pick up, and right off the bat, the first 10 minutes of this movie is hands down my favorite part of the movie, where it just slowly starts with Dumbledore on the underground, which if you know, you know. And I thought that was a very subtle and, not too over the top callback to not only the previous movies, but it's a callback to literally the first chapter of the first book. It's a throwaway line. It's something every Harry Potter fan knows for trivia purposes regarding, Dumbledore and the London Underground. So right away, I was just locked in. I was like, you guys know what you're doing. This is great. Followed by the scene, whatever that is like a vision. I think it's like a legitimate vision thing going on. It wasn't really explained, but the dialogue between Grindelwald and Dumbledore was really well captivating. It was emotional, and that's obviously where some of those lines that were removed for the Chinese audience, kind of got pulled and edited around. Again, affirming of Dumbledore's sexuality, which again, it's kind of a long time coming for that community to have it, other than J.K. Rowling's Twitter, to be confirmed in the franchise, which I think is, pun intended, fantastic. But regardless, so that was a great scene. Again, the first 10 minutes of this movie, I was really, hooked and bought into. Following that, the introduction of Newt's character, rumbling around in the woods or in the jungle somewhere, I'm assuming on Dumbledore's order, to find, the MacGuffin of this movie, the Chillin, which I guess just could see into your heart and knows if you're pure of heart, and is used by the wizarding world community as a device to pick their presidents. Obviously, it's something we've never heard of. And I thought, because the main criticism that I've had is like, how does a Fantastic Beasts movie and this whatever's going on with Dumbledore and Grindelwald, what does that have to do with each other? Well, they decided to create this creature that is the MacGuffin of the movie, that is essential. So it kind of connects. So in a way, they checked that box for me, to where they made the Fantastic Beasts stuff relevant to the Dumbledore and Grindelwald plot. So I will at least give them, a thumbs up for that. That's kind of what some of this stuff is. Some of the criticism that I, and along with other people, have is like the logic within the set of the story. Sometimes you just have to turn that switch off in your brain. Sometimes it's easier for some people to do it, and that's where criticism and praise for a movie, kind of counteract with each other. So I was okay with that idea of it, with the Chillin, this magical deer being a visionary for who gets to pick your presidencies. I mean, hey, everyone's politics are a little strange. I mean, I guess that makes the Electoral College, just seem let's do that, America. Let's get a magical deer and do away with the Electoral College. So everyone's got their own political shortcomings, so maybe the wizarding world hasn't figured out with just a straightforward, kind of thumbs up, thumbs down, Julius Caesar style. So that was fine. I really liked Newt's involvement with this story a lot more than, the last movie. The Jacob's wand thing, thank God, and I think I realized maybe after I made my trailer reaction that maybe that's a ruse. Like, Jacob getting that wand is a ruse. And thank God it was, because I wasn't ready to go down that rabbit hole of breaking canon and how does a muggle use a wand. So thankfully, Lola? Why do you want to say Lola? Lolly. I keep saying Lola in my head. Lolly was, behind the scenes making the magic appear, which gave rise to, I guess, the not racism, but the prejudice. Yeah, prejudice. No, well, I guess it could be racism. Prejudice against Muggles and their, what they're putting out, their propaganda of Muggles overtaking the wizarding world. So, I mean, I guess that in a way, it catapults Jacob into being a critical character in the story, which is great, so that was nice, and it was nice that it didn't, shatter canon in any way. So thank God that was how that went down. Circling back to the politics thing, I think somewhere after, along, I'm not going in any particular order, I just have a little notebook that I took with me to try to, vent and discuss. The politics, I don't understand how Grindelwald just got absolved from all of his crimes and how everyone was just okay with that and just being allowed to be a candidate for consideration. That didn't make any sense. I think they said something like there's no evidence to support I don't know. It didn't make any sense how they were just in a meeting. They had a dinner, like a dinner party fundraiser type thing. And this guy, I don't remember his name, Salio, I don't know his name. He was barely on screen, along with the two other candidates. I mean, they didn't even have speaking lines. Not really, that I remember. And Dumbledore via Newt sends that guy a message saying we all must do what is, make a choice between what is right and what is easy. Funny enough, that is literally the tagline on my email, respondents at work is that exact line. So I do like the callback to that. Again, another great callback to the original Harry Potter series. But again, I don't understand how Grindelwald just gets, expunged. I don't know what the word is. Where he's just humana. Okay, Grindelwald, you can be president, or you can be a candidate for presidency. That didn't really make sense. Another thing in that Berlin scene, like how easy Theseus was just able to get captured, and Newt was okay with that, and they just separated, and Theseus is getting tugged away by the bad guys, and Newt's like, oh, I kind of want to help, but kind of okay, whatever. That just seemed, like, okay, well, for the plot, we have to have Theseus get captured. I feel like they could have made that a little bit more dramatic and have Newt fight more. I don't know. Like, I know that Newt and Theseus don't have the best relationship, but I feel like all of that was, they let bygones be bygones. And it was just kind of clunky it just seemed like, oh, it was written in the script, so let's just let this happen. It was a little clunky. Speaking of clunkiness, I just have written on my notes, choppy scenes. I felt like some of the scenes, they just, again, I hate to just be critical and use the word shoehorn, because it's like, can I do any better? The scene would build and pitch, and then music would play, and then the scene would stop. And it's just like we just kind of kept doing this. A scene would build, music would suspend, things would happen a little bit, and it would just stop. And it just kind of did that like 4 or 5 times in a row in the second act. And it was just kind of getting like, you could just tell, like, okay, next scene, okay, next scene. And it was just kind of just kept doing that over and over and over again. And I don't know if I could do any better writing a script with an ensemble of characters and try to have it be cohesive. I just felt like it was kind of jarring back and forth. McGonagall's in this, but for 15 seconds, Dumbledore is going to ask her to sub in for his class that he's got to teach on Monday and shut the door in her face. So McGonagall's still here. I guess her time turner's working out or whatever. Alternate reality, McGonagall's in here. I knew that they weren't going to address it. I don't know what's going on there, but McGonagall's here. Big whoop. The cave scene was great. I really liked, that was a really laugh out loud with the, the swiveling and the back and forth with Theseus. I don't understand what that location was. I think Dumbledore or Newt said it was some abandoned, I don't even know what the descriptive word was for that place. But it was cool. It was, it was a fun middle of the second act, comical, action-y, I think David Yates said horror, type scene, and it was great. It was great that was there. Again, Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, that's kind of where they're, you can just feel like they're trying to thread that needle, try to stitch those two storylines together. I don't even really know what to say at this point. There's a scene with Dumbledore and Newt at the Hog's Head with Ariana's picture in the background. And I was really anticipating, because I knew that was in the trailers, or that we're going to get some kind of scene regarding that, that three-way duel that took place when the Dumbledores and Grindelwald were younger, that summer, the summer of love. There's a rule, and everyone knows the rule in Hollywood when it comes to storytelling, is you show, don't tell.
Show me the money.
I was just sitting in my seat, just waiting.
Show you the money.
Waiting for a flashback.
Show me the money.
Just waiting.
Show you the money.
Like, Jude Law could narrate, he can describe the scene, and he was doing a great job, emoting and explaining and, talking us through. But it's like, at the end of the day, we're just standing there watching, or sitting there, just watching him talk. That's a perfect opportunity for a movie called Secrets of Dumbledore to show us, you know, a very critical, important background that splits not only your main villain, your main lead, Dumbledore, and the main lead's brother. I mean, you can argue after what we revealed about Credence that this movie, The Secrets of Dumbledore, is about Aberforth Dumbledore. So why not show that? Why not show that groundbreaking, you know, split in all three of these relationships? So I was really disappointed with that. Again, not with Jude Law's performance and his way that he acted that scene. I was just disappointed in David Yates for not taking the golden rule of Hollywood and applying it to that scene. Another small, I guess it's small, criticism with it breaks canon. And I knew when the first trailer, the Dumbledore in the Room of Requirement, to my understanding, Dumbledore has used the Room of Requirement once. He mentions it to Harry at the Yule Ball in Goblet of Fire, where he says something along the line of, he's talking to Karkaroff and Harry's overhearing him. We're like, oh, we don't all know the secrets of our own, you know, domains or our own castles. I myself stumbled upon a room when I needed to use the bathroom, had to take a poop, and came back the other day and it wasn't there. Maybe it comes at 5:30 in the morning or the full moon or blah, 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 or when one has a really full bladder. That's kind of how it's left off. So it's to my understanding that Dumbledore doesn't know how to like fully access this room. So I saw it in the trailer and I knew that they were just gonna be like, well, we'll just forget about that. Here's Hogwarts, here's the Room of Requirement. We need to sell tickets. And that's kind of what happened. So another small critique. Another, I guess, critique or just pointing out the whole Queenie-Jacob relationship. I feel really bad for Jacob. I mean, as Dumbledore says in the movie, Jacob's really pure of heart. You know, he's a really great guy, hard on his sleeves. He's willing to fight for what he believes in and to be a, you know, he's a great friend and a great person just in general. And Queenie, like, doesn't care. Like, I get that she's emotionally caught up. She's got bigger fish to fry because she's a witch and she's, you know, caught up in this whole muggle or this whole wizarding world thing going on. But if she, I don't see how someone in Jacob's position should tolerate that kind of extreme behavior that Queenie does have. Not only, you know, drugging him for however long, like a year in the last movie, up until the point to where she basically kidnapped him and took him to another country.
It's very nice to see you. Where the hell am I right now?
London.
Oh, I always wanted to go here. Queenie!
And was totally fine with that, and for all we know, totally fine with carrying that on inevitably.
Curious when you were gonna wake me up after we had 5 kids?
You're not giving us a choice, sweetheart.
You're not giving me a choice. You were being a coward.
Keeping Jacob under a lock and key, you know, mentally, but now keeping him, you know, just keeping him away at that dinner party, whatever, in Berlin, and just being cold. And it's just, they run into each other at the end, and what was it, Baton, somewhere in Asia, and it was just a weird, funky scene. I don't like their relationship. I don't know how else to say it. It's not a love story, how Wizarding World Twitter is making it out to be whenever when they make a post on Valentine's Day or talk about the love between Queenie and Jacob. It's just not. It's, if anything, to me, it's kind of toxic, and I feel really bad for Jacob. But that's just, I don't know if you want to call that a minor criticism or not. So what did I think of the movie overall, and what do I think is going to happen going forward with these movies, with the Fantastic Beasts series? I honestly couldn't tell you. Did I enjoy the movie? For the most part, yes. Were there times in the second to third act where I was just like, I mean, I think I did this. Like, I did that at least 5 times in the movie. Where I was like, what do we do? What? Like, I just kept doing that. I noticed it after a couple of times. I'm like, I'm doing this a lot. It's so hard to be critical and to like be positive, and I'm not trying to like set myself up for a trap when I say that I enjoyed this movie, but at the same time, I can't help but see the writing on the wall, where I would be shocked if there is another one, if they stick to the original 5 film release. I think this is the last Fantastic Beasts film. I don't believe that they're going to finish off what they originally intended, so they had to rewrite and kind of try to tie a neat little bow on the end of this film to where they can just kind of walk away from it and just let that be that. This movie kind of reminds me of The Rise of Skywalker. And I kind of feel the same way about that trilogy of films and this trilogy of films, where The Force Awakens was, a great starting off point, a great introduction, and The Last Jedi left us really confused and kind of upset and just like, what is going on? I don't understand what this is. And then I always describe The Rise of Skywalker as a Reddit blender, where like J.J. Abrams hired a bunch of interns who thought they knew what Star Wars was to get on Reddit, take it all, throw it in a blender and hit go, and then there's your script, there's your movie. That's kind of what this movie feels like, but with a little bit more care. Like, you have the original author, and for the most part the original screenwriter, Steve Kloves, and David Yates. This is now his 7th Harry Potter film. It has a lot more care than The Rise of Skywalker, but it kind of feels the same way, where there's this hodgepodge of stuff going on. There's a little bit more of a cohesion than The Crimes of Grindelwald, but in the end, I just think that this is the end for the Fantastic Beasts series. Overall, I'd give this movie a 6.53. 6.53. I don't know where I came at that number, out of 10. I will watch it again, and would more than likely look forward to watching it again. I don't look forward at all in watching Crimes of Grindelwald. I don't even go out of my way to try to watch it. I'll watch the first Fantastic Beasts movie once in a blue moon, maybe once a year. It would take a lot of effort to put on Crimes of Grindelwald, just because of how it just drags and doesn't make sense. This movie at least has some pop in between and is exciting, and for the most part has a clear, narrative structure of what's going on. There's a million things I can pick apart with this movie, with like Dumbledore's blood pact with Grindelwald. Like, what is moving against Grindelwald? You can kind of move against him, like you can't actually move against him, but you can put in this crazy, confusing plot together where we're attacking you with confusion, and like we don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna get these guys who don't know what's going on. So like, you can break apart and criticize and nitpick this movie to death just like any other movie, but overall I did at least enjoy it for the most part. So that's just about the stint of my review. Well, alright guys, there you have it. That is my review of Fantastic Beasts 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know, what do you think is going to go forward? I know that there hasn't been, or currently there's not a plan in place of a 4th film. I think David Yates mentioned that he's taking a break, that there's currently not a script being written or considered. Let me know what you guys think about the future of the Fantastic Beasts series and the future of the Harry Potter series as a whole. If you had a one-way telephone conversation with the powers that be at Warner Brothers, what would you want to be next in the pipeline and development? Me personally, I just want to see a streaming series. If I can't have the books being replicated, word for word, chapter by chapter, if they won't do that, either in animated or live action form, what I would want most is a series, a HBO Max streaming series of the Young Marauders. And I think about it all the time. I just got done reading All the Young Dudes. It's a fanfic. It's been out there for quite some time. I recommend anybody to go out and read that. It is a really great read, even though it's not canon. It is a terrific read, and it seamlessly plugs in what we all think happened back in James and Lily and Sirius's and Lupin's and Snape's backstory, their upcoming years in Hogwarts. That would be my pick for what I want to see next developed by the Wizarding World community, the Wizarding World franchise, and Warner Brothers. But guys, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Please be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I hope all is well.